Welcome back to the next chapter. We will now continue our little... just as I thought. We have to go through, and that snake there doesn't look like it will let us. Well, let's continue. Let's save just in case. I think it is on time we use this.
You dangle the shimmering opal in front of the snake. It soon falls hypnotized in typical snake fashion.
And let's see.
It's too dark. You can't see down there.
Let's see what happens if we do this.
You reach into the cavity and feel around. What is this? You've discovered a button hidden inside the rock. You press it and wait to see what happens next.
Interesting.
In an instant, a man stands beside you. He appears to be somewhat of an adventurer, much like yourself.
Greetings. I am King Graham of Daventry.
The newcomer nods in greeting. Without a word, he respectfully appraises you. You notice about him the manner of one who has only recently learnt the meaning of heroism.
From where do you hail, good sir?
The man opens his mouth to answer, but then pauses to consider that question. Evidently deciding that irrelevant exposition would serve neither party, he casually gestures to the hole in the rock behind you.
Might I inquire something of your identity?
After a brief search of his own person, the man pulls out a scroll card and hands it to you. You unroll it, and it reads, "Having fulfilled the requirements in accordance with the statutes of the famous Adventurers Correspondence School, the bearer is a qualified would-be hero." The man also shows you a medallion. Upon it are the words, "Hero of Spielberg." You reverently return the scroll to the man.
You don't say much, do you?
With a sigh of resignation, the man shakes his head silently.
Surely you might speak to me of your adventures.
The man becomes quite enthused about the prospect of relating his most recent adventure to you. Just as he is about to speak, however, you notice something on the ground that the man must have dropped. You retrieve the paper. It appears to be a scroll. Upon it is some writing. Disclaimer: you have just witnessed a rather shameless plug for the remake of Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire by the entities of AGD Interactive. Available now. As you read the writing, the words are ingrained in your mind. The scroll disappears.
Well, let's go into this cave and see what's in here. I do not like it, but I have heard that we may need. I'll save just in case, and then we'll see what's here.
You flip through the book entitled Ye Old Book of Enchantments, Causes and Cures. The first half contains a list of enchantments. These do not interest you, as you have no desire to inflict inconvenience upon others. However, the Cures section does capture your curiosity. While browsing, you spy a promising paragraph.
While casting enchantments upon others, others may provide you with many daily hours of fun. Do not ignore the danger that a miscast spell may have upon your own person. For this reason, you should prepare a simple item which can protect yourself against the effect of an enchantment, as well as providing a means for reverse said spell, should it be deemed necessary. Only the power of the emerald can probably dispel an enchantment, and thus the steps to create one are as follows. First, heat a blue mineral and yellow vegetation. A plant is an acceptable alternative together until they coagulate into a greenish liquor. Stir the mixture with a white feather. Drop into this a perfectly clear crystal and recite. Heed now these words. Crystal, perfect. Green is thy hue. Restore, correct. Guard well my form. Preserve, protect. You will now have the means to safeguard yourself, should your enchantments ever get out of hand. To restore that which is under the effect of an enchantment, simply allow strong light to pass through your emerald at the subject. Then behold the restoration. Well then, let's create one.
You approach the workbench for a closer look.
And to do that, we need this one.
You toss the brooch into the beaker.
And the flower.
You toss the sickly yellow flower into the beaker.
And we use the mallet.
You strike the head of the mallet against the flintstone. It sparks, and the wick catches alight. You watch, fascinated, as the two unlikely objects melt under the heat of the magical flame.
Alright, let's see, let's stir it with this feather.
You stir the mixture carefully with the white feather. It soon dissolves in the hot liquid.
And let us check our sword.
This is the sword of the first king of Daventry. It dates back almost 1,000 years and has been passed down from king to king since that time. Try not to damage it. A magnificent clear crystal is embedded within its hilt.
Let's see.
You managed to dislodge the crystal that had been set within the hilt of the sword almost a millennium ago. You feel a tinge of guilt and wonder what all the past monarchs of Daventry would say if they saw you damaging ancient crown property. You drop the crystal in and watch, amazed, as the green liquid slowly seeps into it.
And now, let's speak.
Heed now these words. Crystal, perfect. Green is thy hue. Restore, correct. Guard well my form. Preserve, protect.
You recite the words correctly, line for line, and sure enough, only a brilliant emerald remains in the glass beaker. You quickly blow the flame out so as not to overheat the emerald and cause damage to it. Picking it up gingerly, you're amazed that the emerald took virtually no time at all to cool.
Now let's get out of here. I do think there was something magical about the snake. However. We do put save here, in case talking to it may create our
The
death.
snake only communicates in hisses.
And then
A large snake is blocking the path.
I do think that it is magical. So let's try this.
As you direct the sun's light through the emerald at the snake, you behold a wondrous transformation. Before you now stands a magnificent winged horse.
Thank you for freeing me. A horrid enchanter transformed me into that legless thing after I refused to be his steed.
Well, let's see what we else can find out next, in the next chapter.